Okay, so you are live.
Okay.
Do you want to put anything on the screen at all?
If I can bring up our website, that'd be
Okay.
great. And then make sure that I get myself.
So what's your website?
OlsonCarriers.com.
There you go.
Thank you.
Hang on 1 second. I got it. There you go.
All right. You're all set. Thank you, sir.
You bet.
All right. Good afternoon, drivers. How are we today? Good. Really good. Well, my name is Paul. I'm from Olson Carriers. We are a local end dump company from Rosemount, Minnesota. I don't know how many of you are looking to right off of 40, between 46 and 42 on 52. Small town of Coates. Yeah. So we're a local end dump company. We do basically all of our drivers are home every night. How many of you are looking to be home every single night? Yeah, handful of you?
Me.
Yeah? All right. Well, we are an end dump company, so we haul dry bulk material and drop out of the back of the trailers. So we're a little bit different than some of the other van trailer companies that have been in here, over the road companies. We are essentially strictly local, home every night. We've been in Coates since 1982, so going on 37 years. We have year-round work, flexible daytime hours and dispatches. We start everybody out at an hourly rate for training. We do hire drivers right out of school. So as you go through the process of obtaining your CDL, you'll notice when you start applying for jobs, there aren't a lot of companies that will hire you as a driver without any hours of service, any recordable miles, things of that nature. When I was going to get my CDL through Interstate a couple years ago, I was in the same situation that you guys are, other than only being in South St. Paul, not coming over here to Hudson. As I was going through and getting close to getting my CDL, I realized that the pool is very shallow for people that want to be home every night and earn a decent living driving truck. So basically, you're going to manage your own hours. Your start times are dictated, or your end times, are dictated by your start times. So on days like today, when it's warm on the overnight, you can preload material tonight, and as soon as your 10 hours is up, you can leave in the morning. So we like allowing you to manage your own hours. You'll be happier if you want to get home for, if you're going to a concert tonight, or you want to have dinner with your wife, girlfriend, other significant other. You can still work a full day without having to take the day off because you need to be done early. Basically, our drivers average about $1,100 a week. That's based on 11-hour workday, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. We do have weekend work available, but that is not required. So most of our drivers are earning about $55,000 a year or more, plus benefits, medical, dental, supplemental. We have a phenomenal 401k program, which I'll talk to you about here in a little bit, and paid time off as well. So we have a fleet of about 40 cabs. Everything we have is 2014 or newer, and the 2014s are being replaced right now by 2019s. We've got 9 2019s that are going to be hitting the lot here within the next few months. We've got 5 2019 Freightliners and Peterbilts that are here right now. All of our cabs are automatics. There's no third pedal in the cab. So if you don't have your manual, if you don't test out on a manual, you have the manual restriction on your license, we would still hire you because that's the majority of our fleet. We do not have manual. We have Peterbilts, Freightliners, and Volvos. And you can see we have end dump trailers. We do operate year round. We do not lay off in the winter. Let's see here. We get loaded over the top. So we do not load ourselves. We go into terminals and locations that load for us. 80% of the job is going forward. 20% of the job is getting loaded, unloaded, and balancing your axles. Does everybody know the spread on 80,000 pound combination? Nobody? All right. 12, 34, 34. 12 on your steers, 34 on your drive. So that makes your tractor at 46 and your trailer's at 34. So when we're loading up to 80,000 pounds gross, that's the restriction by the DOT. We need to be able to shift that material that's getting loaded in our trailers to make sure the bridge on our trailers is DOT compliant. We do also have a full service repair shop at Olson Carriers. We do all of the service work, or the majority of the service work on all of our tractors and trailers. By having newer vehicles, that means that they're all under warranty. So if there's a major malfunction with a computer or some of the driveline, whatnot, that is going to go off to the repair shop and get done professionally. We do offer a lease to own program. So if any of you are looking to be owner operators in the next couple of years, I wouldn't recommend it right out of school. I'd get some experience, and we're a great company for you to learn the rules of the road, hours of service, and DOT compliance. We do offer fuel and DEF on site as well. So nobody will ever have to come out of their own pocket to pay for fuel. Every cab has a quick trip card. And as long as you go within our network, you can always get fuel and DEF on the road. So your responsibilities as a driver are to basically run your route within the hours of service that are required by the DOT and to get back home safe every night. My job as a dispatcher and a driver is to make sure that you're making as much money as you possibly can for yourselves and for you as the driver and for us as a company. So the longer runs that you take, the more money that you're going to make. So we want our drivers to be hungry. We want everybody to go out there and get as close to 80,000 pounds every single pull that they get, and to deliver that to our customers and return home safe every single night. As you can see, the majority of the stuff that we're hauling here, that's all dry bulk commodity. Sand, dirt, gravel, rock, petroleum, coke, coal. We did 25% of the road salt in the state of Minnesota and Wisconsin last year. So if you got to work last winter and the roads were clear, there's a good chance that road salt that was on the road was in our box at one point or another. We carry materials that you guys all take for granted that keep America moving. You know, coal and coke are burned to create electricity. So if you flipped your light switch on today, you know, there's a good chance that we carried commodities that allowed the municipalities to power up the grid to keep you guys safe and comfortable and safe on the roads, comfortable at home, and electrified. Most of our drivers put on between 400 and 600 miles a day. Of course, the longer runs are going to pay more money, but we do a nice combination of making sure that you're not getting burned out by driving for 11 hours every single day on the same route every single day. We want to make sure that our drivers stay fresh and are engaged and enjoy what they're doing. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, you're probably in the wrong industry. So like I said, day hours, Monday through Friday. We do have weekend work available. We, as Olson Carriers, do not have a tuition reimbursement program. But when I was going through school, I paid for the program out of my own pocket. I managed hotels for 25 years of my life and decided I had enough of that. Spent the money, got my CDL, and I saw weekend work as a way to pay myself back. So I still carry every single weekend, and every opportunity that I have to run a load, I'm in the cab. So our drivers perk right up when they see me driving into the customer or driving into the terminal that we're loading out of, and they appreciate it because I know and I've been to every location that our drivers go into. And if they ever have a question, they call me and I have the answer because I'm talking with these customers on a daily basis. I'm aware of the ground and the situation that everybody's driving into. Because I do it on I'm in a truck almost every single day out of the week I'm driving. It's not as much as I had initially anticipated when I got my CDL, but I have the opportunity to get in the cab and drive a load just about every single day. Medical benefits, we have health partners, and dental is also health partners. We offer life, short-term disability, accident, hospital confinement. And for all of that insurance, you're eligible for that after 60 days. Medical coverage for individuals as a driver, we pay 75% of your premium. So you pay 25%, we pay 75%. I'm in my early 40s, and I think I pay around $60 every 2 weeks deduction out of my paycheck. So it's a pretty affordable insurance program for our drivers. I'm sorry? Yeah, single coverage. We pay 75% of the drivers insurance premium. We pay 5% of any spouses or dependents. So that is available after 60 days. After 6 months, you get paid holidays. So we're June 12th right now. So December would be Christmas Day you'd get paid for. New Year's Day, therefore, so on and so forth. After 1 year, you qualify for our 401k program, and you get, I believe, 2 weeks after your first year of service. Then you accrue a day and a half for every week that you work, somewhere along those lines. So our 401k program is pretty generous. It's 3-tiered. It's cash balance, profit sharing, and 401k. All 3 of those contributing factors together. The payout last year for work done in 2017 was 8.25%, which is it's amazing that a small company like ours pays that out. I don't know if everybody's ever participated in a 401k program before, but essentially for you as a driver, that's free money. So the money that you contribute out of your own paycheck, between 3 and 4%, basically you will not notice a difference in your take-home pay. That's just less money that the government's taking for taxes. But before any self-contribution by any of our drivers, 2017 payout in 2018 was 8.25%. I worked in large major hotels all across the nation, and the largest contribution I ever got was from Hyatt at 4.5%. That's if and only if I put in 4.5% myself. So say you as a driver, you put in 3%, OCI returns at 8.25%. That's 11.25% of what your take home, or your gross pay was for the year before. That contribution netted out to be just over $6,200 for the majority of our drivers for working last year. So that was essentially $6,200 of free money that's put in the savings account for you to take when you leave the company or you retire. Like I said, I was sitting in your shoes a little while ago. I was switching careers, got into commercial truck driving, and I didn't know what the heck I was going to do. I had some ideas of what I wanted to do, but my situation, I needed to be home every night for my boxers. They need food and they need to be let out, and they don't ride in a cab too well. So for me, that was one of my factors, other than owning a house and wanting to be home to enjoy that house that I'm paying for. And if you have families, loved ones, you have social events that you need to do, I can tell you this is a great company. When I interviewed with OCI, they set me up on a test drive. Went out and test drove and moved a couple loads of road salt with the driver. And, he was a heck of a nice guy, completely honest, brutally honest, and really took his time to explain to me about, why he likes the company, what some of the other companies that he's worked for, what he didn't like about them. After the road test, I came back to the office And there's some drivers that were finishing up for the day, and they said, "Hey, are you a new driver?" And I said, "Well, no, I'm interviewing or test driving to see if this is a company that I'd want to work for." And totally unadulterated, they said, "This is a great company. We've worked for multiple companies in their lifetime." And he said, "By far, these people take care of you as a driver." So we're a small company. The owner couldn't be here today, but he usually comes to these recruiting classes with me. And he would talk about my dashing good looks and how good of an employee I am, and how lucky he is to have me. That was supposed to be a joke, but apparently that flopped. We take care of everybody. We've got drivers that have been with us for over 30 years. There's a reason for that. We got guys that are driving Teslas and new Challengers and brand new full-size trucks. So our drivers are making good money. This is a good company to work for. We're honest. Plus, you get to work with me. So, those are all very big benefits to working for a local, small town, family-owned and operated business. If you guys have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. I've got some more flyers and my business cards and some applications if you're interested. But if you have any questions, don't hold back. What kind of tires I have on my truck, what I had for breakfast, you name it, I'll answer it.
What does Olson look on criminal background?
Well, it's a case-by-case basis. Everybody's got a story, right? None of us are saints. We're not working for the monasteries or anything like that. But based on the severity of the situation, I mean, we've had some pretty unique stories that have worked for us. But like I said, until we get into the nuts and bolts of it, everybody's an option. Well, it depends on the severity of your infractions that you have on your driving record. If you've got reckless driving or DUI, that's probably a hard no. Just because this industry is an industry for sober people. We respect that. We've all made mistakes in our lives and have to pay for it. But a reckless driving or DUI, that has to be, I think, 6 or 7 years prior to, in order for us to be able to insure you. It's not that we don't want you as a person or like you as a driver, but it comes down in this industry to insurance. So if you're insurable, if you're interested, fill out an application. Let us get your information. We'll check with our insurance company to see if you're eligible or employable as a driver. You had another question?
What about driving after suspension?
That's a pretty big one. That's pretty much as severe as having a DUI.
I've got a driving after suspension from like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, you know what? We'd have to look at that. I'm not going to say no. I mean, everybody's, we treat everybody equal. So, we're not going to discriminate against you for filling out an application and at least trying. You never know. I've seen some people that have had some things on their record. I'm like, there's no way in hell that this person's going to be able to work for us. And yep, he's eligible as a driver. So we just need to do our diligence and make sure that we check with our insurance company to see if you're employable.
You said the driver shifts the weight to the axle. How do you do that?
Yep. So over at South St. Paul, you've got a big Napa truck. So on here, we're getting loaded over the top, right? So they generally come over the driver's side, and they're taking a bucket and they're unloading it into the front, the middle, and the back, right? So your distribution is 12, 34, 34. So $46,000 on the tractor and 34 on the trailer. So if you're loaded heavy in the back, where do you think that material has to go? Has to go forward. So what we do is we get some momentum. We go forward, we throw it in neutral and hit our service brake. That'll jostle everything and shift everything forward. Same thing on the back. We don't want to do that. That's really hard on our equipment. That is one of the ways that we do it. Best way to do it is to go off the load gauges that you have in your cab. As you're getting loaded, the PSI goes up on your load gauges, and there's a front load gauge and a rear load gauge. If one's going, wonky or going way overboard, you can tell the loader to stop, say, hey, I need more middle front or middle rear, or put the next one all the way up in the front. There's ways. That. Yep, and when you're new and you're training, there's so much information that's being deloaded into you that it's almost impossible to know everything that's going on all the time. But once you start getting used to what you're doing on a daily basis, that semi is going to be basically an extension of you. You're going to know by the impact of them dropping that first load in there exactly where that was, or if this is a good loader or bad loader, if he's paying attention to you or not. And you're gonna know because we're going to the same places and we're loading every single day. The nice thing about this company is we've got guys, like me, I'll do your test drive. If you guys want to come down to the yard and see how we operate these end dumps, I'll put a combination together. I'll throw a box up in the air and show you how the behavior of the tractor and trailer happen. You can see that these boxes are up in the air in these pictures, right? So the way that happens is through hydraulics and through your air brakes. What we do when we get backed into position or pulled into position, we make sure that our tractor trailer is completely straight. We set the red service brake on the emergency brake on the trailer. Tractor is loose, so the yellow one's pushed all the way in. And we turn on our PTO, our power takeoff for the hydraulics. And then we hit the control lever that raises the cylinder inside the trailer. The box starts to go up and the trailer is stationary. The tractor moves underneath the trailer until you get to the top. Stage 5, there's a big boom that's connected between fifth wheel plate and the top of the trailer. Once that material starts spilling out, we'll pull off the pile and then we will put the cylinder down, and it'll push the tractor and trailer forward to just about the same point where you started. So, we are semi drivers, we are safe operators, but we're also heavy equipment operators. So we go into some pretty unique areas. We're playing in some big sandboxes and going into terminals on the water, and we're unloading from rail cars and unloading from barges. I think there's some pictures in here of us doing some barge work. Yep. So you see that big clam that's coming off a barge down here. They pick the material up, throw it in our trailers, and then we bring it over to a pile and we unload it, and then they stack it, or it goes out to a customer directly off the barge. This is a big, I think this is Dakota Aggregates down in Rosemount. They come in, put 25 tons in our boxes at a time. This is a hopper. We don't do a lot of hopper work, but we have them. Hopper is the material. You can see this driver right here is working the actuator on the bottom belly of the hopper. This one's got 2. So basically all the material is fed down and out, and we unload into like granaries, and we do a lot of coal. So if you guys have ever been into the city of St. Paul or know anything about the city of St. Paul, they work on a 2-pipe system. They pump in hot water and cold water into every building, every commercial residence downtown St. Paul. Well, they do that in the winter. They heat that water to send to their customers with coal. We supply the entire city of St. Paul with coal. We do that for the University of River Falls right down the road, Menominee, Eau Claire. We keep the entire Green Bay area electrified and powered up. And that hurts me to say because I'm a lifelong Viking fan and season ticket holder. But yeah, we go out to Green Bay, Wisconsin, Manitowoc, Wisconsin every single day. We go down to Davenport, Iowa every day, Superior, Wisconsin, Eveleth. We're doing a job up in Eveleth, bringing that down to South St. Paul. So we get to go to some pretty unique areas that you don't generally get to see. It's a really fun and exciting job, and it's never really the same every single day. Something new.
How long would you say until vacation?
Well, you get paid holidays after 6 months, and then you get vacation accruing after a year. Yep.
Ty, Minnesota and Wisconsin, which state you operate?
Well, Iowa, we're in Iowa every single day. We do have some sleepers. I think I pushed past a couple pictures of our sleepers. Right now we're bringing material down to Coffeyville, Kansas, which is right on top of Oklahoma. From Coffeyville, Kansas, we go up to Coffeen, Illinois, just east of St. Louis, bring that material over to Roberts, Wisconsin here, a couple more exits up. And then they go back and make a loop. We go out to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. We go to Ohio, Illinois, Ohio. I mean,
You go to Ohio, you guys go to Indiana.
well, we use our sleepers for that. If you're in a day cab and you're available to do that, then we'll buddy you up and we'll get you a hotel room at the Ritz-Carlton, the best hotel we can find you.
I asked you because I'm thinking about moving back to Indiana.
Oh, okay. But we're located in Rosemount, so we start and finish from Rosemount every single night. We don't allow our drivers to park them in their driveway every night, or start from Indiana and come back up here. So it would be a Minnesota-based job.
Here's some companies in this one, they didn't drive in USA more than 1 year. They cannot here. What about your company?
We hire right out of driving school. So once you get your commercial license, you're eligible to work for us as long as you pass a background and a drug test. And we can verify that you are insurable.
You guys have automatic, right? And manual or just manual?
Just automatics.
Oh, okay, good.
We actually, that's kind of a lie. We got two 2019 Peterbilts that are 13 speeds, but those are only for a certain couple drivers. So they're all of our trucks are assigned to an individual driver. So from day one, you're assigned your own tractor and trailer. So unless something mechanically goes wrong with your tractor or your trailer, you're in the same combination every day. So you don't have to move all of your GPS and your cell phone chargers and your hard hats and your gloves and everything that you have with you.
You're not doing all this loading, you're just driving and just doing the pre.
Yep, so you do a pre-trip inspection every morning. You go and get loaded if you're not already loaded. You're not doing the loading, somebody else is loading it for you. But you need to make sure you're able to shift the axle weights to make sure that you are DOT compliant to drive down the road. And then you unload material, sweep out your trailer, and then you come home. A lot of times we'll have a backhaul, so you deliver your primary load out to, say, Manitowoc, Green Bay, Wisconsin. We might have you stop, down on the river and pick up some ag lime and bring that back here.
So pretty much you're mostly just driving.
Correct. Yep. But there's, we don't want our drivers to be shoveling material and to doing that. Can it happen that you have to do that? Absolutely. You have to be prepared for that. But during the summer months, spring, summer, fall, we're not really doing any of that. In the winter with freezing, things happen. There's propensity that you will have to do that. But for the most part, we do not want our drivers, because that takes time. You want to get your load delivered and get home as soon as you can within your 11 hours of driving, your 14 hours on duty time every day, because you're getting paid the same amount. You're getting paid by the percentage of the load. So if you are going from point A to point B and it takes you 10 hours and you can do it in 8, well, you just donated 2 hours of your personal time that you're never going to get back. But if you can make that round in 8 hours, you're getting paid the same amount, whether it takes you 8 hours, 10 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours. Looks like you have a question.
I didn't understand.
So we pay by the percentage of the load, right? So you're not getting paid by the hour or the mile. You're getting paid by what we bill the customer for the material that you haul. So if you're able to carry 25.5 tons to be at 80,000 pounds and you're carrying 22, 23, well, you're leaving a $100 bill on the ground and you're walking over it, right? So we incentivize you to carry as heavy as you possibly can and do it as quickly as you possibly can, because you're going to make the most money doing it that way. So whatever we bill the customers, you're getting paid 27% of what we bill the customer. The other margins are for fuel and for the purchase price of the tractors and the trailers and the repair personnel that we have in the shop, and for the fuel and for the DEF and for all the other expenses that a trucking company has. You're getting paid 27%. That's scale for our drivers. So as a new driver coming out of driving school, you're getting trained at $17 an hour. When I was training, I was putting in between 12 and 14 hours a day, and my paychecks every 2 weeks were well over $2,000. Because everything takes longer, right? The longer it takes, the more money you're gonna get, you're gonna make. After you're done with your training, when our trainer says, "Yep, Paul, he's good enough to go on his own." Since I didn't have any experience, I started out at 25% of the billable load. Worked at that rate for 60 days. Then I went to 26% for 60 days. After 127 days, I went to 27%, which is scale.
That's the normal scale.
Yep. So from anybody that's been with us over 120 days or based on experience at that 27% marker, when they're eligible to be at that 27%, yes, everybody in the company, that's the scale. And you might ask, well, if I'm at 27%, how do I get a raise? What's that? Well, we give raises based on what we charge our customers. There's, cost of living expenses, there's fuel surcharges, there's other things that happen in this industry that charge, make us or force us to increase our rates for what we charge our customers. This year is really tough. There's not one barge that's landed in South St. Paul yet with fertilizer or road salt. There's over 300,000 tons of road salt that are coming into the state of Minnesota on barge, and not one granule of salt is on the dock in South St. Paul yet. There's over 100,000 tons on the river right now, and that won't probably land until after the 4th of July. There's 200,000 plus tons coming up behind it. With all this flooding, rail cars have been shut down because most rail lines are running alongside the river. So, rail cars are shut down, barges are shut down. What's left? Trucking. Trucking is more expensive, but it's more reliable. You say you need that load there tomorrow, we're going to get you that load there tomorrow. We're pulling material out of places that we don't generally go because the customers, like the customer over in Roberts, they will shut down if they don't have material. Well, they're a good customer of ours, so we're going to bend over backwards to try and get material to them as expeditiously as possible. The job that you guys have or are going to have very shortly after you complete your requirements here, it's an very highly sought after and in demand industry, but it's an industry for sober people that are safe. I don't need people that are trying to break land speed records to try and get this job done. I want you to get home safe every single night with my equipment. That's your job. My job is to give you the loads to make money to, keep beer in your fridge or Mountain Dew, whatever. What other questions do you guys have for me? If you don't want to talk in front of the class, that's fine. I'll be here for a couple more minutes. Come up and see me if you have questions. I've got some applications and some handouts about OCI. But I appreciate your time, and hopefully we'll see you out on the road in a couple weeks. All right. Good luck, drivers.
Bill will be here in a few minutes, so we can take a little bit of a break, and he'll be here with pizza. And then we'll start class up, and we'll talk about the driving part of the test and the backing part of the test. So that's kind of the big grand finale here that we're going to do.
Thank you.